This is Valley News Live at 10.
And it's primary election night in North Dakota. Good evening. I'm Justin Meddy.
And I'm Stacey Van Dyke. Tonight there are a number of big races, but the biggest story might be no results yet out of Cass County. That means a long night for the 7 candidates running for mayor of Fargo, including current mayor Tim Mahoney.
It's a record number. He's up against a record 6 other candidates, including a current city commissioner in Arlette Preston and a current Republican state house representative in Shannon Roars Jones. It's a packed field.
But again, no numbers in yet. A stressful situation for Mayor Mahoney. Watching the results tonight from the Hilton Garden Inn in Fargo.
Valley News Team's Bailey Hurley joins us now live from there with the latest. Bailey, how are things looking and feeling?
Justin, Stacey, I think the best word I can describe is people are on edge, they're nervous, and they're also very tired. A little bit ago, Mayor Mahoney got up and he excused his friends and family who are here. He's like, I know it's getting to be bedtime, so you can go watch from your homes. I asked him after he gave that speech, I was like, how long are you going to stay here? He said, I'm going to stay here until I win. Just before I came on your screens, one of Mayor Mahoney's granddaughters went to a little laptop that's right here off to my right and refreshed the website to see if there's any results coming in, and it's still at zeros, and she just sighed and put her head back and she's like, when is this going to end? So that is the energy here at the Hilton Garden Inn. Something to note about some of the other candidates who are running against Mayor Mahoney, 3 of those are trying to make history, as the city of Fargo has never had a female mayor. That is Sherry Furco, Shannon Roars Jones, and Arlette Preston. Now, Arlette Preston, again, just like Justin said, she is a current city commissioner. She says if she wins mayor, then they'll either have to be a special election or someone will have to be appointed to fill her city commission seat. If she doesn't win, she'll continue to stay on the city commission for the next 2 years of her term. Shannon Roars Jones tells us if she wins the mayoral race, she's going to stay on the legislature and wear both hats. But she says if both of those hats become too taxing, she's then going to step down from the legislature. As for Mayor Mahoney, he says if he doesn't win tonight, he's going to be very, very disappointed, and he doesn't know what's next for him. So that is everything that is happening here at the Hilton Garden Inn. Some of the mayoral candidates and what is next for them and what could happen if some shakeups happen. So we'll continue to keep you updated. I'll check back in with you a little bit later in the show. For now, live in Fargo, Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
That sounds good. Thanks, Bailey.
Now, we caught up with 2 of the women challenging Mahoney in that mayoral race, Shannon Roars Jones and Arlette Preston, earlier this evening as they await the results. Like Bailey mentioned, they're hoping to make history and become Fargo's first female mayor. We ask what they hope to change in the city if given the chance.
And making sure that we don't have these sorts of divisive outbursts that we've been seeing at the city commission level. We need to make sure that we're treating our citizens with respect.
Right now, we don't have a very good inventory of starter homes for people to get into the home market. So trying to address that and figure out a solution.
Again, we are still waiting on numbers for a number of races, including some school board races with huge fields. 15 people in Fargo vying for just 5 spots. And in Grand Forks, there are 23 people vying for just 5 spots. And those numbers just came in. Let's take a look at them right now. Dave Berger has the highest percentage of votes right now with just over 2,600 total votes, followed by Monty Gockler, Joel Larson, Josh Anderson falling just below 2,000, and Bill Palmiscano. That's all 5. Those are the 5 we project to win in Grand Forks for the school board. Not far behind, though, Kelly Shemp, only about 1,300 votes behind Palmisco, the only 7% reporting right there. So it's a busy night. We're still waiting for a lot of results, but we have them on valleynewslive.com as they come in. So check for the latest results there.
Something else we do know is the race for the U.S. Senate seat. Incumbent John Hoeven leading the Republican side with nearly 80% of the vote. He's held the seat since 2011 and has the endorsement from the state Republican Party. Challenger Riley Kuntz is from Dickinson and works in the oil patch. State Democrats endorsed Katrina Christensen. She's an assistant professor at the University of Jamestown. She faces Fargo's Michael Steele, who says he's worked for a political campaign since 1992. That race appears to be going to Christensen at this point, with nearly 75% of the vote. Meanwhile, there will be a new face in the Secretary of State seat after the general election. Al Jaeger has held the office for 30 years, but he's not on the ballot this year. Republican Michael Howe received the party's nomination. He'll go on to face Democrat Jeffrey Powell in the general election. Powell is unopposed.
Howe from West Fargo, by the way. Aside from the actual races, there is a question on the ballot for people in Fargo involving term limits. Measure 1 asks if city commissioners should only be allowed to serve 3 4-year terms. That'd be 12 years total. Or if they want to be mayor and city commissioner in whatever order, they can only serve up to 16 years, 4 terms. If you voted yes, that means you approve of some form of term limit as opposed to none at all.
Still waiting on those results.
Yes,
now,
we are.
Here's what the voter turnout looked like this evening at West Acres. Long lines reported at polling locations all across the city. Several voters there at the mall told us they waited more than 45 minutes.
Well, I'll be surprised if from when I got here to when I leave, if it'll be within an hour. I hope it is, but it'll probably be a little bit more than an hour.
Fargo, that numbers are coming in late. A reminder though, we are tracking nearly 50 races on our website, valleynewslive.com. You click on the election results, not just election, but election results tab for the full list. Many numbers coming in from places like Grand Forks as well as Barnes County.
Turning our attention to the weather now. Take a look at this. A lightning bolt nearly struck a home in Valley City today. News Dakota reporting the impact from the lightning split a pine tree and blew out a concrete curb. Let's check in with Hutch now to see what's next. Hutch?
Well, that current travels fast. Our thunderstorms were rumbling through in the overnight hours and again first thing this morning and then again this afternoon and evening. This morning's round of storms in south central North Dakota produce these bad boys right here. Softball, or just under softball, just over baseball sized hail out there in that Forbes area. Ellendale picking up a lot of wind damage. Many trees felled. Power poles snapped. They were without power in that area this morning. Then this afternoon around Grand Forks, a funnel cloud was sighted. That did not touch down, but that was from a small thunderstorm out there. A lot of rain into this morning. Jamestown, 2.65 inches and over 2 inches in Harvey as well, and nearly that same amount in Carrington. Now, Doppler radar estimates of rain, where you see the yellows here generally over an inch, and the reds were the big bullseye out there near the New Rockford and Carrington areas where estimates were around 3 inches. Fargo, here with the light blue, 7 100ths picked up in North Moorhead, 1 100th estimated by radar. Grand Forks, some healthier rain showers moved through your area, over an inch and a half. Things fairly quiet down near the South Dakota border. A couple of showers. That's it as we head to bed. Temperatures mild, 70 to 75 south and east. Low 60s off to the west. Your hour-by-hour forecast shows sizzling heat coming for Father's Day. I'll have details on that. First Alert Weather Day and beyond here in a minute.
All right, thanks, Hutch.
We have some breaking news just into our newsroom. A man has now been arrested in Horace on a felony murder warrant out of Kern County, California. The arrest happened around 3:45 this afternoon. 25-year-old Kira Connerly Burton II was transported to Cass County Jail, where he awaits an extradition hearing. No local charges for Burton.
A Fergus Falls man is facing charges after police say he threatened a mass shooting and had several guns in his home. Court records say this past Friday, police were tipped off about 32-year-old Daniel Jennings threatening a mass shooting through an online video game. When authorities raided his home, records show they found several guns and a hit list with people's names and addresses. Jennings is now facing multiple felony charges, including possession of a firearm and terroristic threats. He was previously convicted of first-degree burglary. New tonight, authorities say a Brainerd woman was killed last night when a driver struck her while she was walking a horse on the side of the road. Crow Wing County Sheriff's Office says a 44-year-old man driving a pickup was heading east on Thompson Road when he hit the horse and woman just before 7 p.m. That woman, a 33-year-old, whose name has not yet been released, died at the scene. The crash is still being investigated. Also new tonight, a 13-year-old girl was taken to the hospital after rolling a Polaris Ranger UTV on Highway 75 near milepost 288. The police report says the UTV was heading south on Highway 75 when it left the road and rolled into a ditch. No details on that teen's condition. Several businesses are significantly damaged after a fire tore through an office complex in South Fargo. Crews rushed to the 4100 block of 30th Avenue South overnight. Flames were seen shooting from the roof, so crews had to call for backup. Firefighters spent more than 5 hours there putting out hot spots. The cause is still under investigation. Still ahead tonight.